Just one match win away from a regional championship. Now he's back in the seat again to vie for his first regional championship title. On the other side, against him will be Justin Kruba, who has also never won a regional championship as well, but he does have many accomplishments to his name, and we are ready to jump into team preview here. The winner of this match is going to go ahead and take home 200 championship points, $2,000 in cash prizes as well. So a lot on the line here, and of course, the pride and the trophy that says champion.
All right, let's break down this matchup. You know, Brady on the left-hand side of your screen is going to be running that Mimikyu and Snorlax combo we've seen so often, one that Justin just defeated to get into the finals here, along with that Alolan Persian, Alolan Marowak, Tapu Fini, and Kartana.
Over on Justin's side with the Whimsicott, the Celesteela, the Tapu Fini, the Arcanine, the Garchomp, and the Tapu Koko. Of course, Whimsicott was the MVP in the semifinals versus Rajan Ball, but with Whimsicott comes the danger of running into a Dark-type Pokemon because that is immune to all Prankster moves. And, well, guess what? Nature Power is a Prankster boosted move.
Yes, and that Alolan Persian is a Dark-type Pokemon, so Justin's going to have to be, I think, a little bit more creative on how he uses the terrains on his side of the field to his advantage. You know, he's going to need that Tapu Koko, I think, in this matchup, and unfortunately for him, that means he needs to have a way to knock out that Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak bringing with it the Lightning Rod ability that will redirect all electric attacks, even if that electric attack is a Nature Power that happens to turn into a Thunderbolt thanks to the terrain. So Tapu Fini and that Garchomp, I think, are going to be hugely important to him as this game moves on. You know, another thing about that Whimsicott is it doesn't have to go on the offensive, and I really want to see Justin maybe try and rely on a little bit more of its defensive capabilities, maybe try and encore some of Brady's Pokemon like that Alolan Persian into a move like Fake. All right, you can't, never mind. Prankster coming in once again, maybe encore or something like that Kartana into a move that won't necessarily take advantage of the soak on the Tapu Fini.
And they are ready to get underway here as the Pokemon are sent out. Tapu Fini's Misty Surge is going to activate first because it is carrying that Choice Scarf item that was so pivotal in that match versus Ian Lutz yesterday, followed by Tapu Koko's Electric Surge. So you had to watch out here because Tapu Fini can easily just soak your Tapu Koko, and Kartana can go for a very powerful Leaf Blade.
Yes, and after that's done, all of a sudden that electric terrain is gone, and Whimsicott is going to be forced to try and play into its defensive capabilities. And if Brady has that Alolan Persian in the back, as we just learned, Whimsicott can't really do anything to stop it.
And Kartana now retreats here, gonna try to protect that Tapu Fini over on Brady's side with that Alolan Marowak. Tapu Koko not wanting to get soaked here or even take just massive amounts of damage to protect itself as Whimsicott goes for the Tailwind. Gonna try to outspeed this Tapu Fini here, so smart play right there from Justin to try to get that speed advantage here as Tapu Fini goes for a Moonblast. Gonna go ahead and target straight into that Whimsicott slot, doing about 50% right there. So really, Tapu Koko a dead turn, just wasting a Protect.
It might have been wasted, it might have not been. You know, I think Brady did a really good job of covering his options that turn. He brought in the Marowak on the off chance that we might have seen a double Thunderbolt from the Tapu Koko and the Whimsicott, and then he attacked into the Whimsicott on the off chance that, you know, Justin would try and Tailwind so that he could outspeed. Now that he can outspeed, I'm not sure if there's much he can do to take advantage of that right now due to the Lightning Rod, so he needs to figure out a way to stop this Alolan Marowak.
Whimsicott using Protect here, not going to want to get KO just yet. Tapu Koko does have a way to bypass that with a Discharge here. Gonna go ahead and spread move out. Gonna go ahead and hit that Marowak, activate its Lightning Rod. Not gonna matter too much, but ooh, big damage on that Tapu Fini. Not quite enough to pick up the KO though, as Tapu Fini now goes for a Moonblast here. Gonna go ahead and target down that Tapu Koko over on Justin's side, doing good damage as Marowak goes for a Shadow and gonna follow up and get the KO on that Tapu Koko. So the first KO of the match goes to Brady Smith.
Yes, but that Tapu Koko did plenty of work before it got knocked out. That Discharge is a perfect way to get around Lightning Rod, and certainly a more risky pick, I think, given his team composition. You know, he has a Garchomp, which is a ground type, which can take advantage of that. So you can understand why he runs Protect on Whimsicott. He needs to have that option to stop damage for a turn so that he can safely go for that. Now that he's had a chance to get the Tapu Fini out on the field and, you know, ensure that Brady's Tapu Fini is in the red, I think this is a perfect time for his own Tapu Fini to, sort of come out and say hi. I don't think he needs to worry as much about that Alolan Marowak anymore. And if anything can knock out an Alolan Persian, I think the Moonblast from that Tapu Fini just might.
And here comes the Nature Power. Whimsicott going for a Moonblast. Doesn't affect the Persian, so great read right there from Brady. It is going to get hit with a Muddy Water, though, from that Tapu Fini on Justin's side. It is going to be enough to get the KO on Tapu Fini. That was pretty close there. And, of course, Persian with that Fur Coat ability really just boosts its physical defense. You had to use a lot more investment in special defense, so really hitting Persian for its weaker defensive stat. Kartana comes back in to replace the fallen Tapu Fini now and exerts a lot of pressure over on the Tapu Fini over on Justin's side. Of course, Tailwind is still up, so that's going to be very important for Tapu Fini on Justin's side.
Yes, but Brady has his pick. He can fake out something on the opposing side of the field. Whimsicott can't attack Persian, so hypothetically, if he fakes out that Tapu Fini, Whimsicott can either, encore it into that fake out, which would be a very, risky thing for Brady, or Whimsicott can attack into that Kartana. So certainly a way to slow things down just a little bit.
Very strong Intimidate coming out from Justin's Arcanine here. Going to lower the attack stat on Arcanine and, of course, activate that Misty Seed. Going to boost that special defense as Persian now goes for a fake out. Going to target down that Arcanine. Did not want that Tapu Fini to be able to go for a move. And it looks like now Z Nature Power going to turn into a Twinkle Tackle from this Whimsicott here. Going to target down this Kartana, really hitting it on its weaker special defensive side. It's going to be close. It's resisted, but again, paper-thin defenses.
Paper-thin defenses. I really find it interesting that Whimsicott didn't go for the Encore here. I think it was sort of obvious that the Alolan Persian would go for a fake out. So
hangs on.
Might be something that Justin's trying to hold on to for a future turn.
Bloom Doom comes out from the Kartana, and again, we can't forget, that the Persian can't be Encore because of the Prankster. Here comes Kartana's Bloom Doom. Gonna go out and do massive amounts of damage here. It's okay, because I'm pretty sure a lot of players do forget sometimes too. Sometimes I forget about that too.
This is why you take notes, right?
The Bloom Doom comes out and connects on that Whimsicott, gets the KO, even though it is not very effective. And the most important part is that the Kartana is going to get a Beast Boost, but it's currently staring down an Arcanine over on the other side of the field.
Yes, but with the loss of Tailwind, this means Kartana will again outspeed that Arcanine. Persian free to maybe parting shot it, so it won't deal as much damage, even though I guess it doesn't need that much to get knocked out. So still, even though Justin is at a Pokemon disadvantage right now, with 2 Pokemon at full health, I think the ball is in his court. We saw the Muddy Water from the Tapu Fini. We saw it do over half health of damage to that Persian. So if Tapu Fini can not get knocked out by this Kartana immediately, which is certainly a tall ask, then I think Justin will be in a spot where he will be able to get 2 knockouts this turn and bring things into a maybe 2-on-1, maybe 1-on-1.
Kartana detecting itself, not going to want to get KO just yet, as Arcanine reveals extreme speed here, not going to hit into that detect, and that's going to be still pretty close as to whether or not it's going to get KO'd. Arcanine's attack does drop here, and that's most likely not going to get KO'd anymore from the extreme speed, as Persian gets to switch out and Brady gets to switch back into one Pokemon of his choice. The one Pokemon hiding in the back going to be that Marowak, still in the back, at full health. Yeah, Tapu Fini goes for a Scald. Oh boy, that's going to be a big Scald. Hits Marowak and gets the one-hit KO. Big KO right there from Justin.
Yeah, not even risking the chance that Muddy Water could miss here. I think he's really hoping on the fact that Arcanine will be able to knock out that Kartana with the extreme speed. But now that, Alolan Persian's back out on the field, back out with Fake Out, that's a way to force Justin to, wait another turn. It might come down to just this Arcanine versus the Kartana and the Alolan Persian, at which point, after a certain number of parting shots, you have to wonder, will Arcanine be able to damage Persian at all?
Fur Coat makes you weak to Fire-type moves, and I always forget about that as well. Persian now goes for a Fake Out, gonna hit that Arcanine, as Kartana free to go for a Leaf Blade, gonna hit into that Tapu Fini, no Protect from that Tapu Fini. Again, such powerful damage coming out from that Kartana with that Beast Boost.
And boosted yet again.
Yep. And, well, Arcanine flinches and cannot move, so it's going to come down to whether or not this Kartana can get the KO on the Arcanine, or if Arcanine is going to be able to get the KO on Kartana before too much damage is dealt.
Yeah, so certainly coming down to the wire, I think both these trainers brought the right strategies with them into this game, and it just came down to who played the better game of Pokemon.
And here comes a foul play, of course, that parting shot from earlier, not allowing to do as much damage. Sacred Sword from Kartana comes out, doing a lot of damage, and gets the KO on that Arcanine, and Brady Smith takes game 1 in such a close set. You know, that could have gone either way. Justin just had a couple turns out of position.
Yeah, and no extreme speed from that Arcanine either at the end of things. A very curious choice. Maybe something that Justin doesn't want to remind Brady that he has quite yet. But, you know, overall, again, the fact that it came down to the wire, I think really solidifies the fact that both these trainers, you know, they knew their matchup and they played it right. So I'm really curious to see what the adjustments are going to be made moving forwards. You know, if I were Justin, I'd probably try to keep Tapu Koko around for a little bit longer. I think the fact that your Tapu Fini can apparently one-shot the Alolan Marowak with a Scald, you know, really sort of mitigates the amount of pressure that Alolan Marowak can carry. Probably bring Whimsicott again for his Tailwind support. Maybe try to knock out Kartana a little bit sooner, but overall, you know, it felt like he had the right pieces on the field with him.
Absolutely, and Justin locks into his team right away. He's confident in his decisions here. And going back to this Tapu Fini, it's most likely carrying a choice specs because of the way the moveset is currently set up, and also the fact that it did so much damage to that Alolan Marowak. You know, I'm pretty confident in saying that it is going to be a choice specs, and I wonder if Brady's able to pick up on that.
I don't know. We'll have to see. You know, I was starting to wonder too, but, you know, sometimes you want to wait until you see the Pokemon on the field for 2 turns in a row in order to sort of confirm your suspicions. And interestingly enough, you know, Justin hasn't really allowed that to happen. So he might be trying to play that to his advantage as well. Brady, I want to see what he's going to bring to this game. I'm wondering if he's going to try and switch things up, maybe bring that Mimikyu and Snorlax and let that mode try and, you know, be a little bit more successful. But I don't think he necessarily needs it. And that's what's so great about his team.
And here we go, game 2 of the Masters Finals. Brady Smith 1 win away from becoming a regional champion, taking home a lot of championship points, a lot of cash, and of course a lot of pride as well. Justin needs to claw his way back, win 2 games straight as they get ready to send out their leads. Alolan Marowak and Kartana out for Brady. On Justin's side, going to be the Tapu Koko and that Whimsicott.
So the same lead, but things are really different now because Brady led them Alolan Marowak right off the bat. So, you know, Justin knows that he can't use those electric type moves. Kartana is there to start threatening this Tapu Koko and that Whimsicott with its super powerful attacks. We saw it have that Z Crystal as well. So really just a very interesting setup, I think, for the start of this game.
Yeah, and you know, Tapu Koko is always a Pokemon that does not enjoy facing off against this Marowak because you're really forced to just go for Dazzling Gleams that don't do that much damage to that Marowak. And of course, Kartana, you know, it's frail on the special defensive side, but you know, it's not a electric type boosted move from the electric terrain. Here we go, Whimsicott protecting itself, not going to want to get KO'd by that Marowak or even that Whimsicott. Kartana going to go ahead and detect as well, going to try to scout out what Brady is trying to go for as Tapu Koko goes for a discharge. Again, trying to bypass that Lightning Rod. We've already seen it in the last game, so Brady really realizing there's a chance that I might take a lot of damage as the Flare Blitz goes into the Whimsicott Protect, and really a dead turn. It's a wash.
Yes, but I think Brady might have been predicting the Tailwind from that Whimsicott, maybe to have the Tapu Koko switch out. But again, Tapu Koko reminding us it doesn't need to switch out. It can use Discharge. It can still threaten that Kartana. So, you know, I think a really good play for him to try and knock out the Whimsicott if the Tailwind was revealed. But, you know, ultimately, it happens. You know, the Protect on Whimsicott was a very interesting tech. It has really allowed Justin, I think, a lot more flexibility with how he plays it. You know, now he could potentially encore that Kartana into Protect. He could, you know, switch out the Tapu Koko, save the terrain for later, bring in Tapu Fini. If Brady didn't predict this, and that Tapu Fini probably will start getting knockouts.
Tapu Fini switches in for that Tapu Koko, going to replace the terrain here. Whimsicott also going to switch out as well. Arcanine going to come back in, going to take that Flare Blitz way better, and most importantly, get a very important Intimidate off onto both the Alolan Marowak and that Kartana. You know, Kartana can always boost itself back up, and I always forget that Arcanine has a Misty Seed because it's such a strange item to see on it. Kartana goes for the substitute, using this turn to get up a free substitute as Marowak goes for a Flare Blitz. Gonna go ahead and target down the Arcanine. Not very effective damage, so great switches right there from Justin, but again, that Kartana looking pretty nice behind that substitute against this Tapu Fini.
Yeah, definitely. Kartana loves to have that substitute because, you know, it will outspeed Tapu Fini, be able to attack it once, and then by the time it can take any damage, you know, it probably will have a chance to attack Tapu Fini again. So, you know, just great forward thinking from Brady there. I think Justin's going to be forced to possibly use Muddy Water if he wants to attempt to break the substitute and then deal damage on top of that. But then you risk not connecting with the Kartana or the Marowak. So it's a choice. Do I want to try and make a riskier play, maybe have some more benefit later, or do I want to reposition myself? It looks like he's going for the latter option.
Yeah, and this is a tough spot for Justin Bean because the Bloom Doom we saw, it did a lot of damage. Although this time it is intimidated. The Bloom Doom from Kartana coming out. If Brady read that, could easily just go for a double into that slot because either you KO that Tapu Fini that you know can't protect, or, well, it's just going to get redirected right into that Arcanine.
Yeah, well, here we go. Bloom Doom, did he want to knock out that Tapu Fini or the switch? Indeed, it is that. So Whimsicott going to take a lot of damage. If he doubles in with it, you know, that's really a strong portion of Justin's team.
Oh, thiefing that big club away. I like that. I like that. Now Marowak loses half of its attack stat.
Yes.
I forgot that's an option.
And that's actually enough to let Whimsicott survive. Unfortunately, if it was that Flare Blitz, Whimsicott would have still probably been knocked out. So Justin making a great defensive play with that Thief. Yes, Arcanine won't really know what to do with a Thick Club, but you know the fact that Marowak doesn't have it anymore has really opened up doors for him.
Arcanines enjoy bones, right? I mean, it's a dog-like Pokemon.
There it is. Kartana's still sitting pretty behind that substitute, though, and I think that's the next thing that Justin's going to have to figure out how to address, because maybe set up Tailwind, maybe break the substitute, and then hope that your opponent knocks out your own Whimsicott so Tapu Fini can come in and start, you know, gaining that momentum.
And now Kartana forces Detect here. Doesn't want to get it substitute broken just yet. Now Whimsicott goes for a Nature Power, gonna turn it into Moonblast. It's gonna go ahead and hit that Protect. You do have to watch out for that because of the fact that you can easily get Encored into that, but it looks like the Marowak's just gonna go ahead and KO it with a Flare Blitz right now anyway. So the Flare Blitz connects on that Whimsicott, gonna go ahead and get the KO. So even though the Thick Club is no longer there, it's still a very powerful attack, and the really, I guess the pressure from that Encore is no longer around and no more Tailwind support.
Yeah, and that really frees up, I think, a lot for Brady, and I think he really benefited from that turn. Justin, you know, when your Whimsicott is close to getting knocked out like that, yes, there are turns like, you know, we saw earlier where Whimsicott can just stick around forever and keep dealing damage, keep threatening your opponent, but Brady made the play he had to play there. It'll be like, well, you know, if Whimsicott sets up Tailwind, then at least it'll be out of the way. I'll have to figure out how to deal with it, but if it doesn't, you know, I'm in such a better spot. This Kartana is still going to outspeed the Tapu Fini most likely because of the lack of Tailwind. Even though its Z move is already gone, chances are a Leaf Break is going to do a ton of damage, and if Brady maybe doubles into that Tapu Fini with the, you know, Marowak as well, we're pretty sure it's holding one of those choice items. It can't protect. That'll remove it from the field for the game.
Marowak switches out here, gonna go into the Alolan Persian, gonna exert that fake out pressure for the next turn as Kartana goes for a Leaf Blade, hitting that Tapu Fini, big damage, gets the KO, super effective damage. A critical hit. That high critical hit ratio does so much damage, and Kartana gets its first Beast Boost of the game, mitigating that first Intimidate that Arcanine dropped on it. Here comes the Flare Blitz from the Arcanine, gonna hit into that Kartana, gonna go ahead and break that substitute. But again, it's gonna be 2-4 in favor of Brady in terms of Pokemon count.
Yeah, and Brady just, you know, I saw a sigh of relief, I think, from him, happy that he was able to knock out that Tapu Fini. That's why you run Leaf Blade on Kartana. The high critical hit chance can really win you games if it happens when you need it most. You know, Justin's not out yet. The Arcanine and the Tapu Koko, again, one of the most versatile leads, versatile partners of the 2017 format are side by side. They certainly can threaten this Kartana, can threaten the Persian, but you know, there's the fake out from the Alolan Persian can stop one of these Pokemon from attacking. Kartana can then try and go for a knockout, possibly on this, you know, Arcanine. We saw the Sacred Sword. We know it did a lot of damage last game, and then it's 3-on-1. Or it's 4-on-1 even if the Kartana isn't knocked out. So there's still, you know, so much momentum in Brady's favor.
That thief on that thick club. It was a great defensive play from Justin, but again, that Marowak did more than just exert offensive pressure. It also exerted a lot of defensive pressure as well. Kartana now going for that Sacred Sword at neutral attack stat, doing a good amount of damage to that Arcanine. Arcanine now finally gets to go for a Flare Blitz here and going to try to get the KO on the Kartana as Tapu Koko was forced to flinch from that fake out.
Yeah, but the Flare Blitz's recoil in combination with that Sacred Sword put it down into the red, so really going to be easy picking for whatever Brady sends out next. You know, the Tapu Koko, it's still at full health. It can still deal a lot of damage, but if that Tapu Fini is the one that shows up next, you know, with that Choice Scarf, it's going to be able to take its pick, I think, in terms of do I want to knock out the Arcanine or do I want to deal a nice amount of damage to Tapu Koko? If I were in Brady's shoes, I'd probably go for the knockout because 3-on-1 is always better than sort of a 2 versus sort of damage 3, and have a Persian maybe cover with a parting shot so that Tapu Koko you know, won't be as powerful. Yes, the terrain is gone, but Tapu Koko is certainly something that you still want to be afraid of, especially with Discharge, especially with Life Orb. You know, sometimes when trainers are in these positions, they'll just try and knock out their own Pokemon knowing that that's their best shot.
And Arcanine goes for that extreme speed, hitting that Alolan Persian now. Tapu Koko takes a Moonblast from that Choice Scarf. Tapu Fini, Tapu Koko now goes for a Dazzling Gleam. Can it get the KO on Persian? Big damage, gets the KO on Persian. So now it needs to be able to take another Moonblast, but it's not going to be able to, so oh boy, it's still tough positioning for Justin because that Choice Scarf Tapu Fini is just exerting so much pressure.
And that's what Choice Scarf does best, you know, when it comes down to the wire like this. Yes, you're forced to pick a move, and maybe you get locked into that move if a Pokemon, you know, faints like we just saw, but the speed is what you need. You don't necessarily need the damage at that point late on in the game. Again, you know, we're not going to see Dazzling Gleam be able to deal enough damage if Brady decides that he wants to knock out that Arcanine more. So really just Brady just cleaning up. You know, I think he sees that title of regional champion in his future, and he's ready to just grasp it and, you know, get the trophy, get the championship points, and you know, end the 2017 season on a win. And,
you know, one of the options could have been to go for a Discharge and hope for some paralysis, but of course Tapu Fini with that misty terrain really not aligned with that option to even be viable. Tapu Fini now goes for a Moonblast into the, gonna go for a Thief on the Marowak. Big damage, almost gets a KO actually, and Marowak goes for a Shadow Bone, gonna hit into that Arcanine, so that was actually a very good amount of damage right there. Even if it did get the KO, it'd still be an uphill battle because Arcanine just took so much damage.
Yeah, I think Tapu Fini would have still gone for the knockout on Tapu Koko this turn, and Arcanine, you know, as a Fire-type Pokemon, it's not really going to be able to stop that Tapu Fini. Even though Tapu Fini's locked into Moonblast, it had such low health.
And there it is, the match is forfeited. Justin Kruba has forfeited the match. Brady Smith wins the finals 2-0 over Justin Kruba and becomes your 2017 Memphis Pokemon video game regional champion.